we go, day one of NAMM 2025. I can still speak, which is a good thing.
Kind of. It's going though, isn't it?
We are on our favorite guitar stand in the world.
Legendary.
You know, if you haven't seen it, go and watch all the videos that we shot when we came to visit the factory in 2023. It was absolutely amazing. Anyway, Fred here. Yep. Tell us what's new from Martin in 2025.
All right, so new Retro Plus. This is out of our Navajo factory. So people are always asking, hey, can I get something that looks like a traditional Martin guitar, but at a little more value price? So this year we're doing it mahogany, torrefied tops, torrefied Sitka tops, style 18, Retro Plus guitars, and a D. We also got it in triple O, electronics, Martin E1 electronics with a tuner, ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge, all the things you want in a cool Martin guitar. Morrison tendon neck joint on this particular because it's coming out of Navajo.
But is this the first non-HPL guitar then that you've done out of the Mexico factory?
No, we've done some. We've done a few in our road series, like SC10s and 13s and things of that nature. But this is the first ones we've done where we just went and used the old traditional style 18 look.
Yeah.
And
you would be hard pressed just to look at that and not go, it's a D18.
It's just a normal D18, yeah.
Exactly, but at a completely different price
like
point.
half the price.
Half the price.
That's incredible. That looks great as well.
Yeah,
really
fantastic. Really cool. They got a built-in tuner in them.
Yeah, the one down here.
So this
open gear.
Yeah,
so this is called Retro Plus.
Retro Plus, the plus being for the electronics, and retro just because they have that sort of retro look. I think you're going to see us fill this line out a little more. These are the first ones in style 18. And like I said, it's for people who really want to kind of get into the more high-end stuff, but maybe you're not quite there yet.
Yeah, there's sort of in between price, isn't it?
That's a killer.
I don't
know what that's going to work out in UK money, sort of 1,500-ish, I'm guessing.
Yeah. That's great.
That is
really good value.
That is good.
That's like the M series, isn't it?
Funny, I was literally saying to Pete this morning, or maybe yesterday, just like, as much as I love the value of all the HPL stuff,
sure.
I still think I just want to see real wood.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with the tone.
You have to pay a little bit extra for that,
But I get it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
And this is it now. So I can get a kind of a real D18.
Look at that new
vibe. You get all the D18 vibe.
Yeah.
Right, for a price point that you can get into, like I said, the ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge. This one's not rich light.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. Water slide
That would
decal.
be popular.
Got old style decal.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. Oh, that's superb.
that's
Perfect, man.
I think it'll do well with that.
Yeah.
I think people really like it.
Big news, obviously, Standard Series had a sort of a range-wide set of feature changes.
Yeah, a little refresh.
I guess you did this a few years ago and you kind of called it reimagined for a bit, didn't you? And if I'm honest with you, I think some people got quite confused about what does that mean?
Yes.
Was it a new series? But I guess if we just talk about this is just a refresh of features right across the standard range.
That's it.
Whether you want to call it reimagined or whatever, but officially it's just the Standard Series with some new upgrades, right?
Exactly. Now listen, we never call ourselves geniuses or anything. we realize the more vintage we make our guitars, the more people tend to like them.
Yeah.
And that's all we really wanted to do here. We wanted to make it look a little more vintage, we want to make it sound a little more vintage, and we want to always make them play better.
Yeah.
So in this particular case, some of the things we did, going to that long diamond in the back, going away from the short.
Yeah, love that.
We also went to a little more contour. It's a little more delicate in the heel. Things were getting a little blocky, I felt like. So we made that a little more contoured. In terms of playability, we went that authentic thickness fingerboard. So this is the same thickness fingerboard that the guitars were done back in the 1930s.
Right.
And that really allowed us to put this little extra beveling on the edges to make them feel more played. So this is exactly the trick that we're doing on all of the aged authentics. Now we're just bringing all that right in here so that it feels like a guitar you played for a while.
Right.
We rounded over the edges of the bridge here, and the CNC machines are so precise, they make everything so sharp. In the old days when they were making these bridges, they would have a sander and they would just run it around that sander and soften all the edges. So now we're softening all the edges. We're going to bone nut, bone pins.
Right.
Added on, no charge on any of that. And the nut is also now on the slant, if you know what that means.
Yeah.
So instead of being level with the fingerboard, it's now on the same, it's level with the angle of the peg head.
Yeah.
Another nod to tradition. And then of course on the inside, golden era scallop braces now, standard in all the standard products.
Right.
Smell that. It'll take you back to when we were in the factory. It's just like...
It has to be a cologne, man.
So,
You have to make it into a cologne,
so
man.
just so everyone's super clear, everything you just said about those feature enhancements is on the whole standard series.
With exception, I'm going to say there's a couple of exceptions.
Okay.
35s don't change.
Right.
They get the features, but they don't get the 35s. Do not get the bracing change.
Okay.
Because the 35s never had golden era braces being designed in the 1960s. So we
Right, of
said
course. Yeah.
that kind of makes them what they are. But they get all the other changes.
Right.
And then of course the SCs do not get any.
So, yeah,
because they're all modern.
Yeah, it's a modern
They're
vibe.
all
isn't it?
100% modern body.
If you
Have they
didn't,
been doing well, these guitars?
Yeah, they've been really well.
Yeah,
really well.
It's a great
again,
guitar.
you'll be able to find videos on the channel of when these were launched a couple of years
I'm
back.
really happy with that.
Yeah,
Having
it's great.
said
They look
that,
great.
though-
Great look.
Yeah, so you'll see that even all the way down to the satin models will get the changes. So
Right.
great values.
Yeah.
Cool.
You get golden era braces now on products at those prices.
And now this
The Beast.
is, I mean,
So this, listen, this is I don't want to use the name out of context, but when John Mayer used the double neck on tour, the requests were insane, and mostly from other artists.
Right.
Everybody said, "Can you make me the same double neck?" And I said, "No, I can't because I don't remember how we made it." So we actually had to send guys out to John Mayer on tour to look at the guitar we gave him to remember how we made this guitar.
You know what? I almost never feel inclined to do this, but Pete and I had gone to the John Mayer solo tour.
Sure.
He did Edge of Desire on the double neck, and like it was such a moving, well, not everything, such a great song, performed on the double neck, live, unaccompanied.
Right.
It was like, and I literally, I phoned Carmen. Carmen, if you don't know, is the sales director of mine, and I'm literally like, I don't know what I've just seen, Carmen. It's like, this is unbelievable. I have to get a double neck Martin. And I guess just hundreds and hundreds of people reacted the same way as me
Exactly
after
the
the
same
gig.
way. Everybody wanted one. We had no idea anybody would ever
It's
want
so
one.
crazy.
And don't get me wrong, we were arguing inside, do we really want to do this? I mean, it's
Yeah.
18 strings, 18 bridge pins, 18 tuning machines. There's 3 front blocks in it. It's a bit crazy. And I said, well, you know what? I guess if there's anybody stupid enough to try to make one of these things, it would be us.
yeah.
So,
But you've made this like 100 years ago, right? You did it.
1907.
Yeah, because I thought I read something about
That was the
first
last
double
time.
neck in
That was
100 years.
that was the last time we did a double neck.
But was that a 12 string and a 6 string, or was that just 2?
I don't even remember, like a harp
mandolin or-
guitar,
Yeah,
that's some weird thing.
Yeah.
It's a crazy piece. There's
It
a
is.
toggle switch on the inside, allows you to go between the two.
Yeah.
So it has electronics.
Could you do both
Fishman.
at the same time? You wouldn't. Why would you do that? What am I
You
talking
can't.
about?
No, we kind of set it up like John's,
Yeah.
to be honest
Oh, so
with
he's
you.
got the same little switch there in the middle.
Yeah.
To switch
Is it also, how many has Richie Sambora ordered? It's like
7.
that's it. It's
On
like,
the stands.
it's
Yeah.
like
all
if,
over the
if
stage.
John Mayer didn't make you want a double neck, then Richie Sambora definitely will.
Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page,
Yeah.
who's next? Yeah,
oh,
right.
oh, sorry.
That's
Yeah.
so cool, man.
Alex Lifeson. from
Yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
And I say the other thing. I mean, obviously, it's pretty expensive,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But it wasn't. I was thinking it might be insane expensive.
I thought the same thing.
So it's about $7,000. So yeah, it's expensive, but it's like, I mean, I guess how bad a fan of John Mayer and Richie Sambora are you?
Correct.
Pretty bad in my
Yeah.
instance. So and that is super cool.
There's not going to be a ton of them, but
No.
I'm surprised the orders have actually been really good.
What's the case for on that? I wanted to.
the
Does
big
it have
square
just
case,
one
right?
big?
It's a big square case. It looks like you're carrying a small Fender Rhodes piano with you.
That's wicked. That is
It's super
such
cool,
a great
man.
looking
It's
guitar.
very
It
cool.
is super cool.
It's something different.
Yeah.
Are you doing any other 12-string guitars though? Because you've got some in the range, right?
Yeah, we have other 12 strings in the range.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll talk later. Johnny Marr with the 7-string kind of gives you that same
Right,
vibe.
yeah.
Johnny Marr's done a 7-string.
Johnny Marr's done a 7-stringer.
How
You wanna
cool
look at
is that?
Johnny Marr.
And
you go
on
look
that
at
note,
that?
I
Maybe we should
guess.
go with that.
Absolutely.
I was just saying that there's somebody else did this before, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not a Steve Vai 7-string.
No, it is not a Steve Vai 7-string.
So Johnny Marr.
Johnny Marr, I'm just a big fan.
Yeah.
And I saw that he was on tour with the Killers a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it was near the factory. So I just sent a letter to his management team, said I'd like to talk to him. And they answered. I couldn't believe they actually answered me. I drove out there. He met me out back and said hi, and we went in and we just hit it off and had a great conversation. He's the sweetest, most awesome
Yeah, that's what
guy
I hear.
in the
Yeah, he's
world.
lovely, yeah.
I mean, I just love him. And we started talking about and just brainstorming. He told me what he liked and what he didn't. And he said he really loved the old Roger McGuinn 7-string. So that sounded like a 12-string.
Yeah.
And I said, I think we could do that.
Yeah.
And we just started trading ideas, and here it is. He wanted to do something. It's really different. It's a 4/0, so it's an M.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And he said he had an old 35 that he played a lot of songs on with the Smiths. And so we did a 35 style in the back.
It's pretty narrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like triple O depth, but sort of much wider.
Yeah.
Down here, we
Yeah,
went with
so
a
it's gonna
pyramid
look-
bridge, a straight pyramid bridge.
yeah,
he really
look at
wanted.
that. With an LR bag system in it. So
Yeah.
what?
Really,
so
really.
what? So this is it's the G string that's double on like a 12-string.
Correct.
But when you play it, it gives you that 12-string vibe for some reason.
It's
that's
really
weird.
tricks your mind.
Yeah, it tricks your mind.
I've played
That's what
8
it is.
strings before, where
Yeah.
you get an octave on the D and the G. So I
Right.
guess it's the same kind of
The
concept.
same
as
kind of
that.
vibe. Exactly. Exactly. So we started making this, and then he calls me up and he says, you know what? I was thinking maybe we should make a 6-string too, but not everybody's going to want that.
Yeah.
So it also comes in a regular 6-string
Right,
if you
okay.
prefer it that way. So it's all you can buy it either way.
What about this neck? Because that feels slightly fatter to me than your normal sort of.
We kind
standard
of worked on the neck. He had a very specific feeling
I
on
like
where he
this one.
wanted the neck to be.
Feel that neck though. That's
He was
really
very,
lovely.
very involved in the
right.
design. Not
Yeah.
everybody always is, but he was certainly.
That's almost like a Les Paul-y kind of.
It's
not
almost
got-
like a 59.
He
Yeah,
wanted
it's
more of an
cool.
oval or like
Yeah,
a rounder oval
It's very
feel
round.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels lovely, doesn't it?
I
beautiful
must
guitar.
admit, if you're, well, I mean, my whole teenage years were listening to Angsty Smith's records, and it's like, you know,
I know.
some of the riffs that he's come up with are just like, they're
Yeah, it's
just
incredible, isn't it?
ridiculous.
He's a
aren't
great-
they?
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
player.
Really, really cool.
It's so cool to hear he's a nice guy. Right?
Oh, the
Well,
best.
I mean, I'm hoping, because a mutual friend of Johnny and mine, a guy called Neil, we've been in the UK. We're trying to put some sort of
That would
thing
be-
clinic together
that
with
would be
Johnny.
amazing.
So Johnny
Yeah.
probably doesn't know anything about this yet. We're going to try and do
He does
something,
now.
and maybe, you know, perhaps it'll involve Martin or Fender or whatever,
Yeah.
or everybody, or who knows. But anyway, look, that's cool. From one killer guitar player to
Another.
Yeah. No,
well,
but
I mean, in
amazing.
fairness, what if country and flat picking thing is your style, it doesn't get any more talented than this guy, does it? So,
No.
and I must admit, I
Oh,
was
love that.
surprised when I first started you know, listening to Billy Strings, I was surprised that he didn't play a Martin before. It seems like a marriage made in heaven to me. So
he
how
played
did
a
that
Preston
come about?
Thompson. He bought a vintage Martin. Of course, he'd always played a lot of Martins back in early days, and the Preston Thompson, I think they'd made him some guitars, and some other people. He had Santa Cruz. He's played a lot of different brands. He bought a vintage 1940 D28, and that's sort of his prized. That's his really prized piece. So we sort of used that as a template for this particular guitar. He also had I think it was a Santa Cruz that had a really strange scale length. So this is a 25-inch scale length. So it's not a 25.4 or 24.9 like we normally do. It's 25-inch specific to him. So it's a little bit different. And then the string spacing is completely different. Normally we're post-war, which is 1/11/16.
Yeah.
Or pre-war, 1 3/4 of an inch.
Everybody in Europe has no
idea what I'm saying.
About.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
But it's guitar speak, isn't it?
It is.
I understand it, yeah.
All right, I'm with you.
It's like 42 millimeters or
something like that. I apologize.
40.
String spacing here is directly in between the two.
Right.
So it's sort of splitting the difference.
Wow.
I know, very specific, right?
That's very specific.
But it was very important to him that it felt a certain way.
You say that.
And again,
Pete and I have done so many guitar videos where you've got two guitars, you're going, wow, this neck is way wider than the other one, like that. You're going, and then you look on the spec and it is 1 millimeter.
Yeah, but that's all it is. But the hand just feels
but
those
I
tiny
think,
little things.
Yeah, anything.
Exactly. No, absolutely. It's 100% true.
So of course, so that's amazing if you want to go sort of top of the line and actually play what Billy's playing. And then if you want something more affordable because you're inspired to learn to play like Billy, you've done something in the X series.
We've done something in the X series. So Billy was adamant that we make a value price product that has the same scale length, the same string spacing as his guitar. So that's what makes it a little bit different than a normal X series. It uses a Brazilian rosewood at the HPL.
Yeah.
And obviously more value price. So if you're a Billy Strings fan and you want that scale length, and you want that string spacing,
you know what?
this is something you can get
I think
at a real
that's a great
affordable
idea.
price.
And fair play as well.
As an
because
artist, absolutely.
I don't think people actually appreciate just how much that would have cost you on X series to just retool up to make the neck that much wider.
Please.
But
It's
I
crazy.
just think fair play to do it on a value guitar. Fair play to Billy for insisting on it as well.
And I'll be honest with you, we're going to try to do more of these sort of split on artist models going forward.
Yeah.
Because it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
X series John Mayer.
Yes. John?
John. Please, John.
Okay, no problem.
That won't make it.
It's fine. We'll just pretend that we talked about something terribly scandalous that can never go out
But Lee,
on
so
the internet.
far, our in-depth discussion about succession planning.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes.
So far, our in-depth discussion about succession planning seems to be working.
It does.
Because we're still here.
Yes, indeed, we are indeed. Well, it's lovely to see you, man.
Yes.
You look really well.
People love the video.
They did.
People
Thank you so
have
much
seen it,
again
so
for
thanks
doing
it,
that.
yeah.
You're welcome. So the CEO thing became a tradition for Chris, to do a design.
Correct.
But obviously you've had a new CEO for the last year or
Thomas
so.
Ripson, yes.
And now he's taken over that mantle. That's a very pretty looking guitar.
Yeah, he really wanted to do something with color. I thought it was really important that we put a little more color on the wall. So he was inspired to do something in blue, a lot of pearl, really, really beautiful.
Like waves.
I think the pearl work is fantastic on the guitar.
What wood is
itself.
this on the?
A German white oak.
You had to get the German It's because German trees are better, right?
That's it.
On this guitar, they are definitely better.
Well done.
Well, you got a maple binding on here as well.
Yeah, we got
That's
a plain
sweet.
maple binding going on the outside.
By the way, Taylor, that's Thomas. He's the CEO, so obviously he's the man responsible
Thomas's baby.
for this. That's a really pretty color.
I thought the color was beautiful.
But one thing I would say, we heard a lot from players around the world to do more M models.
Yeah. I mean, I love these little inlays and stuff in here.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Have you ever seen Thomas with his shirt off? There's all the tattoos he's got around his whole body. It's just like...
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's on the shoulder.
Around his waist.
Around the waist, yeah.
We have to stop by this glass cabinet here. It says it's D3 millionth.
Correct.
That you surely don't mean it's a 3 millionth guitar you've made.
It is the 3 millionth guitar.
3 millionth.
It's crazy. I tell you, this thing is so difficult to build, and as you can see, it's the rings of a tree. It's full of gold and diamonds, and on the rings you can see in the very center is the beginning of the company, and each ring going all the way out to today marks the gems that mark specific events.
Yeah.
Company's history.
Is this?
Holy
so they're
shit.
diamonds. They're real diamonds.
Yeah, they're real diamonds.
And that's real diamonds up on the
Real
top there
diamonds.
as well.
We will have one of these guitars for sale for $1.5 million.
Sorry, let me just get this. That is a cross section of a tree.
Correct.
That you think came out of its acorn or whatever in 1833.
We try to recreate that look, and then in the ring it's inlaid gold.
I can see the inlay of the. That's why I wasn't
real
sure.
gold
It's
inlays.
real gold.
Well, I wasn't sure if that was almost like man-made rings, but you're saying that
It is man-made rings, yes.
But out of gold.
Out of gold. So we've recreated that look, and since 1833 till today, 192 years.
Yeah.
So there's 192 rings.
And you have to just film the back of it as well.
Yeah, the back is-
the back is just.
And you can
$1.5
also see
million. How much have you got on you?
Yeah, really.
We'll share it.
Up on the shoulders, you can see there's gold leaves, and inside the gold leaves, there are human fingerprints of actual employees.
What?
So they got the fingerprints etched in gold in the leaves of employees at the factory.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Wow.
That's such a respect for you.
You have to take a look at the back.
Yeah, have a look at the back.
Because the factory is located on Sycamore Street, and there's a Sycamore
The
Street on the back.
luminescence coming off of whatever you've used to inlay that with is
pearl.
just insane.
What is that
really
pearl?
It's a green pearl, the green.
That is absolutely
Wow.
stunning.
Guys,
Wow.
it's an incredible amount of work, and once again, only we're crazy enough to try to do something like this.
I love it.
Yeah, Tim Teal really headed this up, and
It's like when you go to a car show and there's like somebody that's done the concept car and it's like $32 million or whatever, and
Exactly.
you go,
Amazing.
that is
Yeah.
nuts,
Right.
man. Right,
So
where to?
there's a D300. Now this you can buy. There's 30 of these available. While that's the millionth that has real diamonds in it, this is the 300 that's $300,000 as opposed to 1.5 million.
I don't. What's the joke?
Somebody sold a banana for $6.5
Yeah, yeah.
million
That's-
taped
yeah,
to a
so-
wall. That's our inside joke.
You can get this
Sorry.
for $1 million.
Yeah, that's right.
So these are, you're making a few of these, are you?
30.
30. Go on, how much?
300,000. And we've got orders.
You got orders for it.
I'm kind of not surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
I mean, it's not
It's
your
collectible.
average
But,
guitar
I mean,
shop.
How beautiful is that? Look.
I mean, if you watch the Norm's Rare Guitars, documentary on Netflix or something like that, collectible instruments and what they're worth going forward, it's really not that crazy, I suppose. I mean, people buy $300,000 cars all the time.
What a world.
Yeah, you
I
get millions
suppose.
of pounds for cars, absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah. Stunning.
So
Okay.
those are
Wow.
the new guitars.
Oh, cool. So we're done.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
pretty simple. I should mention, I should have mentioned over there when we were talking about the standard series, there is an OM45 which we put in the line this year. We haven't had an OM45 in over 30 years.
Nice.
Fantastic. Wow.
Nice.
And then we added a 17 series, which is essentially like the old 17 pre-war version, which is a 15, but it can get the full dovetail action and the
Right.
golden era bracing,
Right.
which is really a really cool guitar to add into the standard series, and again at a really good price.
Right. OM is my favorite.
That OM45 is
Yeah,
gorgeous.
OM45.
You
Probably
should
I'm
play
probably
it.
with you.
You
Or
should play
Triple
it
O.
for sure.
Yeah.
OM Triple O, great guitars.
OM45.
Well, look, Fred,
Always a pleasure.
always a pleasure.
You guys are my favorite. I love seeing
We
you.
do.
We love seeing you.
You're so kind. All right, well, thank you for staying with us for this video. Many more to come. Many more have already been, so you better like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. See you next time.